Hi, I'm JoAnn and this is JoAnn Sews. On my channel, I talk about sewing a wardrobe for a woman over 50. So we've been in our house about 2 months. I am just at the point now where I'm starting to sew again. We had to do a fair bit of work and it just didn't seem very nice for me to be upstairs sewing while my husband was painting and doing all kinds of other stuff, moving boxes around. So when I got ready to start sewing, I thought about what I wanted / what I needed. Of course, the world has changed. We're at home all the time now, and I work from home. And we were informed last week we are going to be working from home until at least mid-January. So I still get dressed for work every day, but something I've noticed spending my whole life in front of a camera is that some of the tops that I normally wear for work showed a little bit too much skin. They weren't indecent by any means. They didn't show cleavage, but there was just an awful lot of skin. I'm going to pop up a couple of pictures from my work camera that just show you what most of my tops are like. So I decided I wanted to have a little more color and a little more fabric closer to my neck. So I decided to start looking for some patterns that would be work appropriate and also things that I would want to wear anyways. I continue to wear the same bottoms. I wear trousers, I wear skirts, I wear dresses, but I have a huge shortage of tops because in the summer I wear sleeveless tank tops underneath jackets or sweaters most of the time to the office. And I'm just not doing that at home so much. So I went looking for patterns and ideas for things that would work with my new working normal. And right off the bat, let me back up. Last video, I showed you this fabric. This really nice art gallery jersey from StyleMaker Fabrics. And I asked for some suggestions on patterns, because I wanted something more than just a t-shirt. And one of you suggested that I look at the Sew Over It Audrey top, which I did. And this is it. Sew Over It Audrey top is raglan sleeved, wide banded with a bow or not t-shirt. It's a downloadable pattern from Sew Over It, and I actually had the pattern printed at PDF plotting for the first time because I don't have easy access to a printer anymore like I did before, or an affordable printer. So I ordered it from PDF plotting, super fast, super affordable to have the pattern printed. It's not really affordable to have the pattern shipped because it comes in a massive box, but I will certainly do that again. I will have them print other patterns. I will just group several together at once. So I got the pattern and I decided I wasn't going to make the pattern up in my good fabric first. So I ran over to Hobby Lobby and got this Liverpool knit because I thought it was pretty. I like the colors, I like the print. It's kind of old fashioned, but it just seemed really summery, kind of cabbage rose type print. So I picked up this Liverpool knit, came home and had to trace off the pattern, but I wasn't able to find my Swedish tracing paper. Maybe I'm out of it. So I used wax paper to trace off the pattern, and then I just cut out the fabric and I sewed. I cut a size 18, UK 18. I did not alter anything. And the only issue I had with sewing this was that this Liverpool knit, you know, it's really nice 1970s double knit, truly. It was getting stuck on the presser foot on my machine. It wasn't getting caught in the feed dogs, but on the presser foot. So I switched over to a Teflon foot, and that really helped. So I don't know if other people have the same experience with Liverpool knit. I don't sew it a lot, but if you have a problem and you have a Teflon foot, maybe give that a try, because it was just kind of hanging up. So yeah, the top went together really quickly. I don't know if the Liverpool knit has the right drape for this neckline. It kind of seems to stick up a little bit occasionally. But otherwise, super comfortable, super fast sew. And I am going to make one for myself out of the nice fabric and also for my mom. So I made this top so that I can feel very elegant and colorful in my Zoom and Teams meetings at work. But I also made another top that I'm going to show you now. So this is the second top I made. This is Butterick 6765. This is a simple sleeveless top with an overlay. The fabric I used was on clearance at JoAnn, and I made a top out of this same fabric probably 4 years ago. I loved the fabric. I hated the pattern, so I got rid of the top. And I went to JoAnn's, and this was on the clearance rack, so I think I paid about maybe $6 for the fabric, which was a great buy if you ask me. So this is quite a simple top. I cut an 18 and I did a high rounded back adjustment. I did leave a little bit of extra on the seam allowances in case I had any problems with the bust fitting, and I didn't. It was fine. So I had one problem with this. When I finished this and put it on, I had huge gapes on the side because I didn't do an FBA. But I didn't think I needed to do an FBA, frankly, because, well, I wasn't thinking. So I wound up having to put darts in under the arms. So there's a dart here and there's a dart here. And this dart doesn't look so great because the dart had to go through the fabric and through the overlay. So it's not ideal, but for a summer top to wear to work that's really just a wearable toile, it's okay. Feels comfortable. But definitely next time I would do an FBA, but that complicates things because you have to do the FBA, but then you also have to change the overlay. So I'm gonna have to think about how I would do that. Top goes together very easily. You probably will want to, if you make this, you'll want to have a fabric that presses up really nicely because you have to turn under and top stitch all of this all the way around. This fabric holds a beautiful crisp press, so it was fine. I think this should be double so you don't see a wrong side, but that's just me. It's fine, it hangs properly, but I think it could be double. If you are a beginner, you may be a little bit frustrated with this pattern at one point in particular. In the back, this is the opening, button, and one of those thread loops. There's a picture of a thread loop, but they don't tell you how to make one. So if you haven't made one before, I think you'd be lost. And at that point, it's too late to put a fabric loop in because you've already finished everything. But otherwise, I really like this top. I think that I would like to make it a short sleeve version in a knit with a chiffon overlay. I think that would be quite pretty. If I could find a linen knit, I would certainly make it in a linen knit. But I like it, I like the colors. It's nice and bright, and it's not so high that it's uncomfortable, but it's perfect for work. And it's the kind of thing I can also wear on weekends. So that's Butterick 6765. Picked up two other patterns that I'm going to use to make tops for work. The first is New Look 6620. I like this version, the short sleeved one with the higher neck. If I can find linen knit, I want to make this in linen knit. If not, surprisingly, the pattern suggests that you use chambray, lawn, cotton, interlock, ITY's, jersey, lightweight linen. I just don't see that being in lawn. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to give that a try because I like that. Be good for return to work or for life in general. And then Butterick 6738. This is one of the spring patterns. What I like is this top here. let's see if you can see that. The sleeveless top in the middle there. I think that's really sharp with the little V-neck. And that needs crepe. I do have some crepe. So I really like the whole set of this. So those are two that I'm planning to make for work. I am going to try and make some pants. I've made a couple of really quickie little skirts, but I am going to try and make some pants. I picked up Fabric Mart's Mystery Knit and Mystery Woven last month, and I wound up with a nice knit that I'll use to make a top, but the woven I got is linen. So I'm going to give it a try, maybe some cropped pants. But the priority right now is tops. So I just want to say one quick thing about Butterick. So if you are on Simplicity, McCall's, Vogue, Butterick's email list, you may have gotten an email last week where they talked about the branding and how they're focusing the different brands on different types, styles, and I actually found that really helpful because I don't always want to go through 4 books. And if I know that McCall's designs are primarily directed at young people who like to show a little more skin maybe, or shapes that are maybe a little, I don't know, a little trendier, then I won't necessarily look at McCall's all the time. I will, I'll glance through them. But I now know that Butterick is being focused on people who want something. They said, what did they say? It wasn't demure, but I think that it's a more classic, elegant style that's appropriate for people who don't necessarily want trendy clothes. They want something that looks a little more classic. So I was really pleased to see them state that so that I know where my first look will be when I look at new patterns. I also am so happy that Butterick is using models over the age of, what, 18, 21. It helps me when I see people that resemble me a little bit. It makes it easier for me to dream about what a pattern might look on me. So I was happy to see that. Off my soapbox. Pretty much settled now. I'm ready to start sewing. I have finished a couple of other little things, and I'm actually just going to put them on my blog because they're not things that I necessarily feel like I need to talk a lot about. It's just their makes. And a couple of them are things that I think I'm going to put in a pattern review contest if I can hammer through a couple more garments in the next 2 weeks. But yeah, that's what's been going on. We're enjoying the hot summer and glad to be getting settled. There's still plenty of work to be done around the house, but it's livable now, and we're starting to try to get a bit more balance of doing some fun things that we want to do and working on the house. And of course, I'm still working, and I'm working long, long hours. My office is right across the hall from the sewing room, and I do not ever come in here because I just don't have time. I'm working from 8 till 6 most days. So I think a lot of people who are working, it's the same thing. It's really difficult to find the balance. You wind up working a lot more. So maybe I'm going to start trying to do 30 minutes a day of sewing, or even come in here at lunch. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Nobody expects me to work 12 hours a day. So that's what's going on, and I will see you soon. I look forward to hearing from you and seeing your comments. And thank you for watching. Take care.